Exactly how long does it take for your brain to heal from the harmful effects of porn addiction? If you're trying to overcome porn addiction using NoFap or Quit by Healing or any other approach, this is probably one of the questions that's on your mind. And wouldn't it be nice if there was just a clear-cut, precise answer to that question? It takes exactly this many days, and that's it. This would be a very short video, and that would be easy. But unfortunately, it is a bit more complicated than that. The answer to how long does it take is, it depends. And in this video, you'll discover exactly what it depends on and what you can do to speed up the process. To get started, let's take a baseline number, which I'm taking from Dr. Anna Lembke. She's a psychiatrist out of Stanford University and the author of the excellent book Dopamine Nation. In her practice, she's worked with many different addicts, including porn addicts. And basically, no matter what someone's addicted to, her advice for her patients is always that they need to abstain from their substance of choice for at least 30 days before they can expect positive changes and for the brain to start healing. So what that means for porn addiction is that you need to be completely porn-free for at least 30 days in a row before you can expect lasting healing effects in your brain. This doesn't mean that nothing good happens in the first 30 days, but you shouldn't be surprised if things get worse before they get better. If you've been clean for, let's say, 5 days and you notice that you're in a worse mood, you have anxiety and you have low energy and other negative symptoms, that doesn't mean your brain isn't healing. It just means that your brain is still fighting to get back to the old habits and you haven't been porn-free for long enough to start noticing clear positive changes. So 30 days, that's our baseline. So does that mean that's the answer? It takes 30 days for your brain to heal from porn? Unfortunately, no. Even if you have a relatively mild addiction, it's quite unlikely that you'd be completely healed and your brain would be completely rewired within just 30 days. These things generally take longer. Exactly how long it will take depends on 2 factors. These 2 factors make a lot of sense, and I bet you already understand almost everything you need to know to understand how long it will take. To show you what I mean, let's take the example of weight loss. If someone comes to you and asks, hey, how long will it take for me to get clearly visible abs? Then of course the answer is it depends. And specifically it depends on the following 2 things. Number 1, it depends on how much body fat you have right now. That's your starting point. And of course, if you're already quite lean, it might take as little as a few weeks to get visible abs. But if you're heavily overweight, then it might take months or even years to get lean enough to have visible abs. Logical, right? The second thing it depends on is the strategy and effort that you're going to put into reaching this goal. So first of all, you want to have a good strategy. You want to do something that is actually going to work. In the case of losing weight, if all you do is exercise, it's going to be really hard to lose weight. Whereas if you change your diet, if you change what you eat and how much you eat, then that is a much better strategy. But even if you have a good strategy, you also have to put in the effort. You have to have the discipline to stick with it in order to get results. And so again, you can see that it clearly depends on, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to change your diet? How much are you going to exercise? And how strictly are you going to stick to this? But we can clearly see that with the right kind of diet plan and training plan, if you adhere to it, you can get to the result much quicker than someone who is not following a good strategy or not putting in the effort. Recovering from porn addiction and healing your brain is exactly like this. How long it will take also depends on 2 factors, and they're very similar to the 2 factors we just looked at. So the first factor is your starting point. How long have you been watching porn for? How much time do you spend per day, per week watching porn? And how far have you escalated the stimulation you get from porn through hardcore content and fetishes and maybe VR stuff and toys and so on and so forth? Basically, the more deeply ingrained your porn habit is, the longer you've been doing it, the more extreme the thing is that you're doing, the longer it will also take for you to heal. A more deeply seated habit or addiction that you've had for a long time will have rewired your brain more, and it takes more time to undo that and rewire your brain in a healthy way again. The second factor it depends on is your strategy and level of effort, like we looked at in the previous example. There are all kinds of strategies that people try that just aren't very good strategies. So for example, trying to slowly wean yourself off porn by watching it less often or watching less hardcore stuff. This is something a lot of people try, but it's really not an effective way to make progress. On the other hand, if you're willing to quit cold turkey and tough it out through the withdrawal symptoms that you experience early on, that is a much more effective strategy. So that's going to accelerate the healing process. Another important part of your strategy and also how much effort you put in is, what do you replace your porn habit with? If all you do is quit porn and change nothing else about your life, then yes, your brain is going to heal, but it's going to heal slowly. On the other hand, if you replace these cheap dopamine hits you've been getting from porn with positive, healthy dopamine activities, such as exercising, socializing in person, learning challenging things, or taking on challenging projects, that will make your healing process much faster. And there are also specific activities you can do, such as practicing meditation or doing shadow work exercises that will further accelerate your brain's healing process. So if you're willing to quit cold turkey, if you take on positive dopamine habits like exercise, if you do things like spend time in nature, do introspective writing, do meditation, and so on, you will make much, much faster progress than most people do when they just quit and hope for the best. And by the way, the quit by healing approach strongly emphasizes all those other activities that help accelerate your process and also help you generally level up your life while you're overcoming porn addiction. If you want to learn more about this approach, check the first link in the description. But finally, I have one more important message for you. If you're asking the question, how long does it take for my brain to heal? The answer is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because quitting porn is for life, and the healing process takes significantly less than a lifetime. When you look back 10 years from now, it won't matter anymore whether it took you 60 days or 90 days or hundreds of days to overcome this addiction. What does matter is that you start now, that you commit to it and stick to it for the long run. That is what future you will thank you for doing. Your brain will heal from porn use, and you will experience countless benefits from being porn-free. You got this. If you have any other questions about overcoming porn addiction that you'd like me to answer, leave a comment below.